And what's up, everybody? We're back with another episode of the Talkin' NASCAR podcast. Wait. Yes, first official off-season episode. I am back with Hitmaster and Jackson. What's up, everybody?
Hello.
All right. So there are some news that we're going to talk about first. Before jumping into some of our off-season style topics. This is not the collaboration episode. I think I said that would be this week's episode. It's not. That's on delay. The diecast episodes also. We're waiting on some for that too. So stay tuned. It'll happen. But we're gonna talk about some other stuff on our list today. I gotta say, the roads tonight, I felt like I was doing dirt racing on the roads tonight.
Because it's snowing, you freaking moron.
And also my car has horrible traction, apparently, and it was sliding like crazy. I actually missed a turn going into my neighborhood, and then the turn I actually did make going into my neighborhood, I almost spun out, so that was fun. Pulled an epic Kyle Larson style save to not crash, but, that was fun. Anyway. Alright, so we got a lot of stuff to talk about, though. Before we get to our special topics, first off, there was a big thing that happened recently. The mayor of Nashville is in agreements with the Bristol Motor Speedway to lease the Nashville Fairgrounds. This is not, official, but the mayor is on board with it. If this happens, Bristol Motor Speedway will own the fairgrounds, and they would be renovated and ready for racing in 2024 if this is approved. It'll be voted on in January.
You're going to have to say that again. You cut out.
Bristol will own, if this goes through, Bristol Motor Speedway will own the Nashville Fairgrounds. They will get it to 30,000 seat capacity, and they'll be ready for racing in 2024. And what will that happen is the agreement will be they have to run a race at the fairgrounds at least once every other year. Not once a year, once every other year. If under this agreement, I feel like they are probably going to do once a year if it does happen. But it'll be voted on in January, so we'll definitely get a good update about that then. I don't know, 30,000 seats. Does that seem pretty reasonable for this kind of track?
Yeah, but then again, Bristol seats like what, 150?
I originally read it as that Bristol would have to run a race at least once every other year, not Nashville. I thought they were going to alternate, which I actually wouldn't be mad if the fairgrounds took the Bristol dirt date.
I think having Nashville, the fairgrounds run 1 year, and then the super speedway run another year. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I like that.
That's another possibility.
It's the same area.
Right.
It's similar names. They're not similar tracks at all, but they both have. Well, I don't know about the fairgrounds, but Nashville, the mile and a quarter track has produced some great racing in its first two races. So,
yeah. So that's interesting. We'll have to see what happens in regards to that, going forward. Excuse me for a second.
Oops.
hello,
Oh, what happened?
Tyler.
Oh, I think he just...
I said excuse me for a second.
What were you doing?
Taking care of something.
Were you taking a dump?
No. I don't take dumps that fast. Anyways. So that's getting done. Another thing, they released the race start times for the 2023 schedule. On the Cup side, there is a lot more night racing. Atlanta get the night date again. Bristol Dirt's an official, is later in the year this year. I forget what else. Oh, what was the other one that was at night that I remember? Oh, the Clash is at night. Well, Eastern time starts at Eastern night time, but it's really late afternoon Pacific time. But you get the point. And there's a few other races that got so it's Chicago night race, Chicago Street Course, St. Master. I know you're going to that.
Hell yeah.
That's going to be a 5:30 start time Eastern time.
Oh God, no.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna die.
Okay, so we've already
You
figured
will
out a
die.
we already figured out a schedule there. We were gonna do.
That's isn't that 6:30?
No,
About
be
yeah.
No, be 4:30 Chicago time. That it was
What?
Yeah. That's what it's gonna be.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. Yeah.
So
Great.
Weird.
But overall, there's more night races. A lot of the races that are tonight are starting around at 2:30 or 3:00, including Michigan again. So take that as you may. But that was the one that really stood out to me was the Chicago Street Course being a 4:30 local green flag time, which is just a really weird time to have it. I don't know if they're trying to simulate Chicago rush hour traffic or something like that in a little area of Chicago, but that is weird. But I did like Atlanta getting a night race. I think that's gonna be the first official super speedway night race.
Yeah, I think that'll be interesting, knowing that, like you said, a super speedway now that Atlanta is. It's gonna be very interesting on how the cars are gonna feel, how the tires are gonna do.
Yeah, it'll be quite insane.
Maybe this time Corey LaJoie won't actually lose to Chase Elliott, but we're not going to talk about that.
Hey, we're Chase Elliott fans, but I did want to see Corey LaJoie win that.
I wanted Corey LaJoie to win, to be honest with you.
I did too. Because then there have been 25 drivers in the New Year's Eve Spectacular, not 24. But also we would have gotten 20 winners this year, which would have been insane.
Hey, who are the extras besides Blaney and Keselowski?
Jackson, if you stayed to the end of the last episode, you would know.
I had to go.
I'll mention the New Year's Eve Spectacular a little bit. Probably in the next episode because I have to still get the model set up for that. I meant to do that this week, and then some other things came up. I might do it tomorrow, but probably by the next episode because I think my schedule next week is open enough where I have time to get on here and get all the car sets in and get all the cars set up and get everything set up for that next week so that I can just be ready for it when the holidays come around. So I'll talk about like what paint schemes might be coming around during that time because there's probably gonna be some weird ass paint schemes, and like if I have to substitute any drivers or anything because that's happened before in the Music Spectacular where a certain driver who's in the race, the game nobody made a car for them in the game or I couldn't get them in the game, so I had to substitute a different driver in. So that hasn't happened in a little while, but it might happen this time. We'll see. Anyway, moving on. Brian Patty, crew chief Brian Patty, is going to be going to Kyle Busch Motorsports next year. I don't know who he's leaving from.
ATG.
So is it? I wonder if it's just a manufacturer thing or he's getting like a contract deal from there. But
I like how I know you guys can't see it, but I'm drinking Coca-Cola, and I like how you're drinking Mountain Dew.
Hey, I like Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew's good. I want there to be more Mountain Dew paint schemes.
Hey, you'll never believe what I'm drinking. Water.
He's like,
oh, look at you trying to be a healthy Discorder.
You know what? That's why I'm not a mod, because I don't... I mean, I probably would, but that's called a cheat day.
What? Okay. That's pretty cool. So here's something that I found pretty interesting. Anybody what the Rose Parade is? It's on New Year's Day, right before the official Rose Bowl game every year. They do a parade, and NASCAR is going to have a float in it this year. And it's no surprise that, they race in LA and now they're going to have a parade in the LA parade. I'm kind of interested to see what I'm actually gonna have to watch that now and see what's on the float that they get. That's gonna be pretty cool. Probably gonna be some random drivers we've never heard of because they're social media influencers because it's California, but maybe
Yes.
maybe. So that's
You know what
pretty
I
cool.
think they should do sometime? NASCAR should, like, at the beginning of their season, at least 2 drivers from any team should, like, make a paint scheme that's the colors that were in the Rose Bowl. Like, the 2 teams that were in the Rose Bowl. It's like,
Oh.
they did it a long time ago, and, like, let's just say the Michigan State and Stanford, they put one car at Stanford, one car at Michigan State, and, just...
They've done college paint schemes before. I mean, William Byron did a Texas A&M paint scheme. Ryan Blaney did a
What?
Virginia Tech.
What? Whoa. Stop. What?
The
William
77
Byron
drove
did the Texas A&M paint scheme
Yes, there's been a Texas A&M paint scheme.
driven by William Byron. Are you sure about that?
Well, no, wait.
Maybe it was a Liberty University.
Well,
I know
there's Liberty. There was Liberty University too. There's been MSU and U of M. Both of them have had paint schemes.
There's been Virginia Tech.
Yes, there was Virginia Tech. We already talked about that.
I
think that's
Penn
it.
State.
Gambling, I can't even think of the name. Gambling.
Oh, no.
That was driven by Greg Biffle.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
All those.
Yeah, the only way I know that is
HBCU
because
colleges.
I'm playing NASCAR rivals, and I'm racing him right now, so that's why I just thought of it.
Perfect. No, there's been a lot of college schemes. So that would be pretty cool if they did like ones. If only the bowl games weren't during the NASCAR's off season, they probably would do more of those.
Or if the college football playoff was near the end of the season, where the Final Four come in, all top 4 could have like.
Oh, that'd be
college
cool.
teams.
That would be cool, but that would be.
Sadly,
cool.
that's not the occasion.
Hey, maybe if they wanted to expand the schedule to 40 races, maybe they can fit it in where it would happen during bowl season. Who knows? Anything is possible at this point.
Right.
Now, this is some bigger news that happened. Joe Gibbs finally made the announcement about Ty Gibbs. He will be in the 54 next year in the Cup Series, not the 18 like everybody thought that they would. Thought he would be.
So that means the 18's retired.
General consensus is the 18 will not be ran next season at all, which is a huge shock to me. I'm very surprised to move the 54 up for that. Just seems like a little bit too much of a hassle. But it'd also be kind of weird seeing. Can you tell you last time 54 was a number in Cup?
I don't think.
No, it's
the
been.
last one I could think of is like the
Todd Bodine.
The National Guard car.
Todd Bodine, I think, was the last guy to have 54s. And that was like 2003.
Closest I could have thought was 55.
Yeah, 55 has been pretty recent, but yeah, I don't know why they chose to not run the 18. 18 was literally the founding number for Joe Gibbs. That was
right.
So I don't know why they're deciding to get rid of it. Some people think it's just going to be retired for next season and then come back in 2024. Some people think it's going to be gone forever.
Possible. No. Hey, that's possible, and the reason that's possible is because Truex is mulling retirement, and that's a sponsor I would never ever see leave NASCAR. That's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, they'd never leave. They sponsor like 8 teams, but anyway, they probably have a contract year, and then they'll fill whoever is next in line at the Toyota camp, whether it's John Hunter Nemechek or someone completely unexpected to drive the 18 or whatever. Or I don't know if you guys knew this, but Denny Hamlin also has a contract year, and he's Well, both he and FedEx have contract years, which is making me a little nervous that this could be the whole Kyle Busch thing again.
That would FedEx again. Oh wow, that's
Well,
crazy.
to be honest, I want them to go back so badly to the colored like FedEx cars. Like one be blue, one be green, one be
Oh,
like
those would be
orange.
so cool.
I love
I
those as
love
like a
that.
throwback. Because if they're not signing at the end of next year, if that was the case, one race where it's just like that. Bring it
I
back
think
from
though.
it
I
all
think if
started.
Denny Hamlin resigns, they will resign. Because FedEx has been with the 11 since before Denny Hamlin. It was like 2005 they signed on for the 11.
Yeah, with Leffler.
So maybe not. I don't know, but I mean they've been with Hamlin throughout his entire career in Cup. So I don't know. I don't think Denny Hamlin's going to be done racing. I think he's got some more years left in him, but.
Well, yeah, I don't mean like, oh, Denny Hamlin's going to retire. I'm just talking about like, from when he first started going with Denny Hamlin, or sorry, not with Denny Hamlin, with FedEx. It could just be like, one more last ride with FedEx.
Yeah, FedEx would be another big L from a long-time sponsor of the sport. That kind of suck. I do love the FedEx paint schemes. Mainly prior to 2017, I think is when they start running the weird ones. But even some of the more recent ones they've done pretty good with too. I don't hate them. So it would kind of suck to see them go, but that would be kind of a shock, I'd say. All right, here's a bizarre one. So I don't remember what company this was, but it was a major NASCAR video game company, and like almost everyone got fired a few days ago. What was this? Brian posted about it. I don't remember what it is. I'm gonna do some source checking here. Let's see. No, this is not what I want. News. Nope, this isn't it either.
It's okay. We'll be right back after these short messages.
No, I will find this.
Cue in the ads.
No, we will find this. Let's see.
Go to Sears to get your new clothes.
Liberty Mutual. I must have missed it. Where'd it go? No, I didn't miss it. Maybe I did. No, I definitely did not miss it. It wasn't that far back. Yeah, everybody got fired, and basically what people are thinking is that that's going to be the end of NASCAR video games, which is very, 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 very possible, in my opinion, seeing that the popularity and also the quality and also really the reputation of NASCAR video games has really, really, really sunk down.
I will say the Eutechnics era was starting to save it, which was Inside Line through 15. Those games were very good, but then we had Heat Evolution,
and then it went to Ignition.
Well, hold on. Heat Evolution was horrible. Heat 2 was slightly not as bad. Heat 3 was better. Heat 4 was very good. Heat 5 was excellent compared to the rest of them, I should say. It was a good game overall, right. Heat 5. But then 21 Ignition came out, and it was the most embarrassing thing to ever be made, I think, of all time.
I mean, would you count... I'm sorry for interrupting.
Would I count Rivals? I don't know. I think it was developed for the Switch, so I feel like expectations should be a little bit different. But then again, the Switch is often treated like a console, which it is, but it's also a handheld, and it's complicated. I think I think
It's
he
just
should
like,
treat it like a laptop, personally.
right, yeah.
But yeah, I feel like that NASCAR video gaming is in such a sorry state, especially as more and more people are playing the Formula One video games, which until like 2 years
Name
ago,
3 people that are playing F1 video games.
okay, me,
I was playing
myself,
it.
and I.
I was playing it at first
Well,
when my computer wasn't broken.
are they like NASCAR video games, or are they more like high tech? Are
Oh,
they?
they're way better. Oh my god. So they're
Because
developed by Codemasters with Dun 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 EA, but
Dun, dun,
uh,
dun.
they're actually really good. And it gives me hope for racing games because besides that and Forza Horizon and I guess Gran Turismo, there aren't really many good racing games left. I don't count Mario Kart because that's more of a party game than a racing game.
it's a what? They could be
I
both.
said it.
It is
It's a
kind of like
racing
a
game.
part. It is kind of like a party game. He's kind of right because you gotta,
I mean,
you gotta
yeah.
think. You actually use items in actual racing, even though it'd be cool. Do you actually use items in racing?
Well, if you count a bumper or a piece of the track as an item, then sometimes. But I get what you're saying in that regard, actually. But we might talk about we might talk about video games a little bit later on. Hint, hint. So I won't we can go too deep into that. But personally, I think if they're going to continue, if this is going to get saved, they need to make more high quality gaming. That's what I gotta say.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. Other big news. Oh, keep going, keep going.
I was just gonna say with NASCAR Rivals, it's getting better, but it just has some different tweaks. But that's all I was gonna say.
Other big news that came out was replacement in the 41. It'll be Ryan Preece now in the 41 next year, not Cole Custer next year. I don't remember if Cole Custer has a ride in a different car. I think he's going down to Xfinity, if I remember reading that correctly. Let me check. But I remember in the debacle, like if Cole Custer is going to stay. I know Tony Stewart said that he wanted.
I think Custer's going to drive Xfinity full time.
Yeah, he's going to do a second Xfinity car.
I don't know if he's going to return to the number 00 or something like that. But I honestly thought that Haley Deegan was going to run full time Xfinity. I don't know if there's going to be 3 cars now, which that's a big jump from just one.
That is.
But
it is. But no, I remember Tony Stewart saying earlier in the year he really wanted Ryan Preece and didn't really want Cole Custer, but was trying to fight against getting Cole Custer back. Eventually lost. I guess won the battle to get Custer back, Custer out of the 41 and Preece. And I don't really know how much of a difference that's going to make though. Preece
Has Preece ever been in the Cup Series though?
Yeah, he ran the 37.
Yes. He drove the 47 in 2018, and then the 37 from 2019 to 2021.
Like, I know Stewart praises Preece as like this really great dirt racer.
No. Shut up. Modified driver.
Modified.
Okay, as in the Northeast modified. That's asphalt. It's not dirt.
I remember him praising him as a good dirt racer as well. Maybe.
Well, he may be, but that's not exactly what he's known for.
But like he's had his chance in Cup, and he really hasn't shown much. So I don't know what Stewart sees in this guy.
He was JTG Doherty, Tyler.
Yeah, AJ Allmendinger won a race for JTG Doherty.
Okay, yeah, but he's AJ Allmendinger. In fairness.
True. I don't know. I mean, it just seems like I don't know. He's got a lot of he needs to prove himself, So, in my opinion, he does. But maybe this will be his big break. Who knows? Maybe Stewart will invest a little more into the car now that the driver he wants is going to be in it. because we know that the 41 has been kind of the lacking car at Stewart-Haas for since Kurt Busch left it. So it'll
Yeah.
be interesting to see what happens there. Then a couple other things. Another big one: NASCAR's going to Brazil next year. They're starting a new division in Bristol. Not
So
Bristol. Bristol. No, not Bristol. Brazil. Or maybe it will be Bristol, but it's in Brazil. And I heard rumors that
the
they
actual meme might happen.
that would
Takes
be
NASCAR. You are going to Brazil.
you are going to Brazil. So the union between the and G. Okay, so biggest the union between NASCAR and GT Sprint Race was on Wednesday. Time that's coming out. It'll be joining. It'll be the fourth international sanctioning body, or sanctioning division internationally. Was joining South America. Brazil is in South America. Oh, but yes, first in South America, joining Canada, Mexico, and Europe. So, and I also read that they want, right now the cars are different between each of them, but they're trying to get a universal body setup for all of them so that they can do international races across all
Yeah, I
the
posted
division.
that. I found that hilarious.
I don't think that's going to work, but you know, it's good to know that they're trying at something. But yeah, so I think it'll be pretty cool. You know, I don't know if that's exactly what Brazil needs at this point in time, but it's good to know that they're going internationally, and so that'll be pretty cool. And then finally, Levano. Is that how you spell it? Levano?
Lenovo.
Lenovo.
Holy crap!
They will sponsor Kyle Busch next year, staying with the 8, instead of going over to Tyler Reddick. I believe that's the only sponsor that was confirmed. That was your post, Jackson. I read that.
Here's my question.
Yeah.
Would they, and I'm assuming this is probably a yes, and I'm probably just an idiot, would his, would Kyle Busch's energy drink sponsor him? Most likely, yes.
Are you-
I'm just an idiot.
Possibly.
But it's his drink. But does he? He made it, right? So he's like the owner of it, right? So
True.
it's up to him really if he wants to put it on his car, which I'm maybe for KBM cars. That's a possibility. If they're in need of like sponsors, I think that's a really good way for him to go. But actually, I'm kind of surprised that he hasn't done that yet. Now that I think about it, it's really weird. But
Because I think there's only been two people. There's only two drivers that have energy drinks, which of course is Kyle Busch and then Chase Elliott.
He
If
does
I'm
not
mistaken.
own that company, you moron.
what is what
No,
are you
I'm
talking
not
about?
saying
What are you talking about for Chase Elliott?
He's talking about A-Shock.
Huh? I didn't know that was related to Chase Elliott.
It's not. They just sponsor him.
You know. All right. Anyway, that'll be interesting again to see going forward. Also, I guess there might be. Well, I guess Monster doesn't. Monster just goes with the. I guess 54 is a Joe Gibbs now, so I guess that wouldn't matter. I was in competition between Rowdy and Monster Energy, but I forgot the 54 is not with KBM anymore. So, all right. So that is all the news topics that we had. Unless you guys had anything else to add that I did not talk about here, or not write down.
Not that I know of.
Right. Then we have some bonus. What do you want to talk about? We can talk about. I know Hitmaster, you brought up the topic of NASCAR video gaming, ghost stories. We can talk about retired numbers.
Yeah. One day I was yeah, we could talk about that if you want.
Let's talk about which one.
Uh, why don't we talk about just retired numbers? I mean, then we can figure out what we could do with ghost stories and video games. Unless, actually, you know what? Video games would be better because
Yeah,
we were talking about it
we
earlier.
already mentioned them, so might as well elaborate on them here.
Yeah.
We can talk about kind of like our history with NASCAR video gaming. Talk about some of the better games, some of the games that, over the timeline, because NASCAR video gaming has been a thing since I think the early 90s. Might have been the late 80s.
No. Wait, yeah, no, you're right. Early 90s.
My first NASCAR game was NASCAR Thunder 2004. It's coincidentally still my favorite NASCAR game ever. It's for the PS2. I've played that thing for a long, long time. I've done all sorts of fun stuff with it. Some of my favorite things.
I think the last NASCAR video game that could be considered like game changing or incredible was probably 06, maybe 07. And that's a very generous maybe.
I like I can't think of the year it was. It was with
Who was on the cover?
I think it was Dale Jr.
02?
Yeah, I believe.
Or 03? 03.
03, yeah. But I think that was the year it had the Dodge Arena or something like that. Unless I'm mistaken.
Say that again?
The Dodge Arena where it's like it looks like how do I explain this? It looks like a Bristol, but then if you added, let's say, indoor parking lot on the side for the pit roads.
That's weird.
I don't know. So but all I know is I remember Dale Jr. was on the front cover. I don't know if I was.
What do you do in the Dodge Arena? Like, is there like challenges and stuff? Like modes you can play in?
I think you have to unlock it.
Oh, okay. Oh, is it like a track?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. The reason why
go ahead.
The reason why I like Thunder 2004 so much is because of the what are they called? Lightning challenges, I think they're called. But basically,
challenges.
Relive like scenarios that have happened in the past prior to the game, obviously, and you try and do something different in them or try and do the same thing. A lot of them are fun, like trying to beat Johnny Benson at Martinsville, or not trying to run out of, or winning the 2002 Sonoma race with Jerry Nadeau, or winning at Pocono with Ricky Rudd. Then some of them are like really stupid. Mainly,
Avoid the Wrecks is my favorite.
My favorite one there on that game is Jeremy Mayfield Daytona 2002. Avoid the big one, and I loved playing that one. I beat it so many times. There's one at Dale Jarrett at Michigan, where they make your car intentionally spin out, and then you have to get back up to like 10th in a certain amount of laps. So I was able to. So I took So you're supposed to spin out, pit, and then go back up throughout the field. And Thunder 2004 Michigan is really hard to pass in. So that's probably why it was at Michigan. No, it was at Michigan because that's when it happened. But so one time I was playing that mode and I made it so the car didn't spin out, and I stayed out, but the car was intentionally super loose, so I couldn't. And there goes Jackson. The car was intentionally super loose, so I just ended up spinning out anyways, and not completing the challenge, which I thought was hilarious. But I do like all the unlockable tracks. I think those are apparent in a lot of the other Thunder games as well, like you were talking about. I remember you could unlock a sawmill, you could unlock the infield to a lot of tracks. Like Talladega was one you got to race in the infield for without having to unlock it. But like Daytona, there was an infield for that one. A sawmill, Daytona Beach, that's one I love to race at. There's like some certain tracks you could run at night that normally didn't have a night race, like Michigan at night, or Darlington at night. This was before it got lights. Or was it? Yeah, it was before it got lights. Because it was the 2003 cars.
I can't imagine Talladega at night.
There is a Talladega night. the infield, if you do the Talladega infield race, it's at night, but that's not going to be nearly as fun as running Talladega at night. But I never unlocked those. I did unlock a lot of like the cars and paint schemes for the drivers, because in Thunder 2004 you start off with the 40 main drivers, which include pretty much all the main drivers from 2003. Some notable ones that aren't included are Dave Blaney, Jimmy Spencer, and Todd Bodine, as well as Tony Raines, who was pretty notable in 2003 as well. All of them are not included, and they're not even unlockables either, which is kind of weird. But you can unlock like Richard Petty, Dale Earnhardt, all that sort of things. I don't know if that I have not played Thunder 2 or 4 or 3, Thunder 2002 or 2003, so I don't know if they're present in that. But anyway, sorry, that's my favorite NASCAR game of all time, Thunder 04.
I think my favorite part of the game that I liked was just the. Oh no, wait! It was Kevin Harvick on the front cover. I'm an idiot. Because I can remember doing it, and I think you would have to race Ryan Newman in like a Dodge car and all that at the beginning of the entire game, and that was just weird.
Oh, was it like an opening scenario?
Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about. That might be NASCAR 06 or 07. No, might be 06. I don't remember.
Either way, it was one of the best. And then the other one was Dirt to Daytona, because I would always my grandpa got me this like what was it? A chair that I can plug in my audio.
Oh my god!
And anytime it would vibrate it. Anytime I would wreck, so I would purposely wreck someone, and then you just hear boom.
Oh my god, that's so awesome! I do miss the rumble on the controllers when you would like on the PS2 with the DualShock. Every time you hit a car, like it in the grass, it would rumble really viciously. That was awesome. But I couldn't imagine that in a chair. That's crazy.
I miss it. We had to throw it away because I basically destroyed the speaker into it because I'd always blow it up, basically.
Oh man, I had a plug-in wheel, one of those plug-in steering wheels.
Oh my gosh!
It was Carl Edwards' wheel when he was with Office Depot. It was a plug-in wheel.
Wait, I know what you're talking about. I had one of those too.
I never actually used it for the game. I would just use it as I was just playing with it. I would never actually use it for the game. I don't think I had the game it went with. My friend Darkchrome 7, Eli, has the game it goes with. Actually, no. No. Well, it has a game it could go with, I guess. I don't remember exactly, but
I had a Carl Edwards one, and then I had a Jeff Gordon one, which of course I bought first. But I bought a Jeff Gordon one too. They had Jimmy Johnson. I think they had Bobby Labonte when he was in the 18.
Oh,
they had him too. I should have bought that one because then that would have been very cool. But I had to buy Jeff Gordon. Had to. That one was the last one. I was like, I'm not risking my.
Do you still have it, or?
I do not. I don't think. I think we had to throw it away because all the pieces were broken onto it because my dog got into it.
Ooh, damn, that sucks.
My tiny Chihuahua got into my freaking tire wheel.
Yeah, we don't have my Carl Edwards one either. We had to. I think we sold it, which is not a big loss for me, but because it was tiny.
Yeah.
The next NASCAR game I played after that was NASCAR 09, which is still the NASCAR game, which for the longest time was the NASCAR game I did not like the most. Like I hated it the most. The controls to it are just so much different than NASCAR Thunder 2004. And like how the game mechanics work, it's like a lower quality too, which really sucks. And it takes away a lot of there's no modes to it. The only difference between it and Thunder is like the good thing is you can run truck and what was called Nationwide at the time, Xfinity now.
And there's one part that was modified too.
Oh, that's right. There is a modified version. There is a well modified.
Because they had dirt, modified truck, and then I think cup.
Right, I do remember there being a modified now. I remember running modifieds at Watkins Glen. I didn't like how the cars sounded in the game, so that's why I never played it again. I still have that game, actually. I still have all my NASCAR video games, but
Might as well turn on my camera here real quick. I know we're not talking about diecast, but I really needed to show you this. It's
what? How?
this.
How did
It's
you...
So it's a 4-tire stop from October 9th. It says 1994.
So what do? You give it a 4-tire stop?
Or there's
is it
a little story behind it here. Let me read what the story says to it.
Did you just get this? Or...
I think, yeah, I actually just got this. I won it on an auction like 2 days ago.
Oh my god, that's cool.
I bought it for like, what was it? $150. Someone had it for like $50. I was like, fuck it.
Oh my god,
But
I can't believe
it
that. That
says-
is so cool.
It says 4-tire stop October 9th. It was at Charlotte. This was from Richard Childress. Or no, Chocolate Myers. Charlotte, we had a decent day, but not real good. We were in the lead. We were on a lead lap, and then with around 10 laps to go, the caution flag comes out, and Richard Childress comes on the radio and says, "Stay out there, and we will get a good top 10 finish." Dale said, "I didn't come here for a top 10. I came to win. Get 4 tires ready. I'm coming in." We were the only car that pitted. We didn't look like we had a chance, but we never gave up. We came in third there. It was a real team effort, 100%. Nobody meant any more or any less. He wanted it more. He came to win. And that was the whole story about that.
Wow.
It says, yeah, and then it shows the congratulations on my purchase of all that. Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh, that's cool. I want more diecast so bad. I'm a little short on cash right now. I got money to pour into other stuff right now, so I can't get any more right now. I'll get some more probably after the holidays. Anyways, NASCAR 09 sucked. But then we go to NASCAR the game 2011, which I thought was a step up from 09. I didn't like it as much as 04, but I did like it more. I thought the game controls were a lot better. The racing was a lot better. The graphics looked better. They didn't have a lot of extra modes. This was on the Wii now, which means, less stuff to do. You could still run you could do a season run on there. I don't remember.
There was a game on the. I'm trying to think. There was 2 games on the Wii that I'd play 24/7.
Well, the other game for the Wii that I have NASCAR-wise is NASCAR Inside Line.
Oh no! There was 3. Remember that now. Because NASCAR Inside Line, there was one that had the characters in the car and with just the roof gone, and it had the character on top, and it looked like he had a bobblehead every time he hits the wall.
Oh my God.
Can't think of that. But every time I would use Jimmy Johnson, I'd purposely wreck. Because, I hated Johnson. I hated Johnson with a passion.
Damn. No. 2011 was okay. 2012, Inside Line, I guess it's 2012. That's what it is. But no, it's called Inside Line. The only reason I liked Inside Line was because I thought it had a great career mode. I liked how it offered you different sponsorships, and it made your car look different, and you could change out how the car looked, but you were racing, and the racing was good, and you ran the schedule. I guess you didn't get to climb up through Truck and Xfinity. That was kind of a downgrade because in 2011, not even in 2011 you couldn't do that. That was a downgrade from 09 still. You couldn't do Xfinity or Truck. You can only do Cup.
Right.
but I like the customization ability to it, and I mean the gameplay. A lot of people don't like the gameplay. I thought the gameplay outside of the career mode was lackluster, to say the least. I don't even think there was a career mode. I think you could only really do the career mode. I don't think there was even a race now button or whatever you could do for the game. But I didn't play 2013. I did play 14. No, did I play 14? No, I played 15. Did not play 14. I played 15 once. Thought it was pretty
I
good.
had. Go ahead.
No, I just thought it was pretty good.
I know I played the one with Jeff Gordon on the front because I can remember I was just about to go to bed to get ready for school the next day, and he goes, "Hey, Gary, look at this," and it shows Jeff Gordon on the front cover, and I'm like, I want that so bad, and I saved up all my Christmas money, and while at the Christmas money, I'd be like, "Hey, look, there's one more present," and it says Gary's name on it. And so what happens? I open it, and it's the Jeff Gordon front cover one. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah. That was 09.
So,
He was on the cover for NASCAR 09. I think he was on others too.
yeah, I think he was on. I know he wasn't on. Yeah, 15.
Oh,
No, I can't remember.
we
what
rented that
covers-
game for a night when I was staying at my grandparents. We rented it and just played it for the night. I forgot. I also did rent NASCAR 07 to play one time. And I did. I did not like that game at all. I didn't. It was the first time I'd ever played using like actually having cautions in the race. And that's why I didn't like it, because I didn't like the fact I couldn't touch a car without a caution coming out and being
Right.
penalized for it. Now, if I played it now, I think I would enjoy it more, but not going to happen.
Right.
Probably not going to happen, at least. I don't know, maybe YouTube will take off and I can get everything I'd ever want. But the next game after that was Heat Evolution. Here's a hot take. Heat Evolution is not my least favorite NASCAR game. Not even close, actually. I still think it's better than NASCAR 09, NASCAR Inside. Well, not Inside Line even. It's the third worst NASCAR game I've ever played. I don't even mind like the gameplay itself. I think just the paint scheme sucked, and I think there was just not. I think it was just very, very boring after a while.
Well, see, I don't remember when they did challenges to get the paint schemes, but I liked that better than anything, because then you had to work for your paint schemes, and that's what I love to do, and that brings us back to things.
Right.
So it's like they have challenges on NASCAR Rivals. The thing about it is, it's not for anything.
No.
On NASCAR Rivals, every car has one paint scheme. One.
That's true.
Nothing else.
Right. No, I another reason why I like Thunder 2004 is because of all the different paint schemes you can get with the cars. Like, not even just like the special cars. Like, the main 40 have a ton of different paint schemes. Like, this game was meant for 2003 cars, but they would go all the way back to the 90s for paint schemes that you could put on the 03
Like
cars.
Richard Petty's.
Yeah, Richard Petty, like Bobby Labonte, Tony Stewart. They had cars going all the way back to 2001, 1999. Dale Jarrett, Rusty Wallace, they had them going all the way back. Like some of these newer games, you get one paint scheme. One. And you cannot change it. You cannot... Like, there's no way to unlock more. And it just makes me wonder, like, how do we take a step backwards in the last, like, 17 years or however fuck long it's been?
How I would do it, to be honest, how I would want to do it, like, let's say you're trying to get Richard Petty, Dale Earnhardt, and Jimmy Johnson to all be in the game so that they're in the career mode. Well, in career mode, make the challenge. You have to win 7 championships to unlock Richard Petty, Dale Earnhardt, and Jimmy Johnson.
Would that be a daunting task? But it would be a good one.
But it would be something to earn.
Right. It gives the game playability.
Do what they did.
You want this? Well, here you go. You got to play the game for this long. Like, it makes it worth it to have the game when there's stuff to do longer than the game.
And also, let's all say that let's all remember that basically or any NASCAR game cannot get the freaking building at MIS correct at anything
Oh no,
except NASCAR Rivals.
the track renders in some of these games are awful. Um, it's kind of funny sometimes, but most times it's just kind of sad. They don't get any of like the special features and stuff like that, which I guess is fine. I mean, they do an okay job, but not that great. Then I got Heat 2, which was a much bigger step. I mean, it had better features. They did better in some of the stuff. And then we took a major step back with the newest and possibly last NASCAR game. The big one, last big one. NASCAR Ignition. Was that a waste of a Christmas gift, Christmas list item last year? Whoo.
We don't on Ignition. Let's just push that. Let's do what we did with COVID-19. Just push it to the side.
Yeah, just you go over there.
Here wasn't a thing. Just push it to the side. Let's all pretend that I never graduated.
I was ready to be done with the game when I entered my first race, and my car flips over on the pace laps. So, yeah, that's when I realized it was a waste of a purchase.
I couldn't get into a race. I'm like, okay, I bought this game for about $40 on Steam, and I'm ready to play it. I'm ready to race at Michigan to see if they got the fucking renders correct for the fucking building, and I'll race Chase Elliott. They say the beginning thing, the Irish Hills of Michigan, and it stops. And I'm like, and then it shuts me out completely. I'm like, motherfucker.
That's another thing I forgot to mention was the introductions. In the career modes of a lot of these newer games, they do the introductions, but they're not that great. They usually like these people like we never heard of. They give out the most they give out the most random and like unnecessary facts about these tracks or stuff that we already know. But that's another thing that Thunder 2004 gets right. They make it so real when they talk about it because they do when they have the cars on pit road, they'll literally touch on certain drivers and like give facts about the driver and like say their name and everything. And they'll even talk about the car you're running and everything. And then they'll do it on the pace laps again. They'll introduce the rows and like the starting order while they're doing pace laps, and they'll say the names. They won't say the names. They say the sponsors, which is something that's kind of weird. But
and you know what we miss the most, or I miss the most? The national anthem being fully played instead of half played.
What game had that? I don't think I have one of those games.
I can remember one game had it. I don't remember which one it was, but they had the whole. Well, they didn't have the whole one, but they had like the beginning part of the national anthem, and I skipped to the end, which I was okay with. I mean, but still, they need to have at least all the parts.
You know what? I think Thunder had that. I don't really remember that though. I'll have to go back and play Thunder 2004 again. It's been a while, but.
Yeah, and they should really put announcing, like the guys announcing the entire thing, so that we know, like, okay, if this is a championship race or if we're in the playoffs, where's everybody else? And if they're announcing it, like, oh, let's say we need to beat Kyle Busch or something like that. Kyle Busch is currently in 10th. How you feel about, like, we can say,
that would be really cool.
Because
that's something even the Thunder games didn't do. I know in the Thunder games you could like hear your radio of like your crew chief and your spotter, and they would talk about that stuff. And I think they did that in some of the newer games as well. But they didn't. They never did like in the booth radio stuff outside of the very beginning. That would also be though really hard to do because you have to come up with every single scenario possible in the book and have them record everything and then program that in the game. And the fact that they can't even give us alternate paint schemes for even the most popular drivers in NASCAR now, I think we're a little far off from that step.
What they need to do, and they need to not let this die, the one thing that I remember as a kid, and me and my mom, my whole entire family watching NASCAR, you always say boogity 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 every single time the race starts.
That would be cool if they could put that in.
If they keep that in for the rest of the life and the rest of NASCAR games, Even just like take it from other games or something like that. I mean, you could have kids that's never heard of Dale Wallet or sorry, I forgot. I'm sorry that I put Bubba Wallace's name in front of Dale Wallace.
Darrell Waltrip.
I'm sorry.
It's one of those days.
I'm a bad NASCAR person.
It's one of those days.
Anyways, keep his name in the game because it'll be helpful to kids when they grow up. They'll know who Michael Waltrip is. They'll want to say it, and then I'll keep going through and through and through and through and through.
That would be cool. If there's anything though that I want them to bring back and continue in NASCAR gaming is I want those lightning challenges to come back because there's been so many moments that they could do. Hell, we had one just a few weeks ago in Martinsville that would be perfect for something like that.
For next game, try this. Do the video game move at
Like
Martinsville.
it would be so cool.
On the date, Ross Chastain punched his ticket into the Final Four by making a video game style move. We're going to put you in the one car, and you have to try to make it from 10th to 5th in one corner. There you go. There you go. Awesome. Video game, your Technics or whatever, motorsport games, I got you. I've already said what the sentence needs to be. I got
royalties to Hitmaster. But like I remember in Thunder as well, they would have Michael Waltrip interview the driver who was involved in the challenge, like who you'd be playing as in the challenge. Michael Waltrip, you'd get a video of Michael Waltrip interviewing that driver about that moment. There's one challenge where you are playing as Michael Waltrip, so he interviews himself, and it's really funny. It's really funny.
I'll have to look that up. Michael Waltrip and interviewing Michael Waltrip.
Yeah, Healer's like, hi, how's that? It's like blah blah blah, and then he jumps over here, blah blah blah. Then jumps back over here. It's really funny. But no, maybe it would be a good idea to not bring those back because Thunders also has one of the hardest things to do in any video game I've ever played, and I've talked about it before on this podcast, the Rockingham Challenge with Johnny Benson. It took me so long to beat that.
Well, they'll be doing a lot. They could do a lot of North Wilkesboro challenges again.
When they bring North Wilkesboro back, yeah, that'd be cool.
In the new NASCAR games, if they do challenges. Because then, now that North Wilkesboro is actually a track now, I mean, it's an all-star race, but it's actually back as a track, do the challenges from North Wilkesboro. And then when Rockingham comes back, do that. Also, I swear, if Rockingham comes back and the person that says "Gentlemen, start your engine" isn't Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, I'm gonna be angry. Because they have to.
They kind of have to, don't they? They kind of have to. Just imagine it. That would be hilarious. Oh my god, I would love it. That would be cool. Yeah.
I also loved how at Michigan, when they were doing "Gentlemen, Start Your Engines" and Tom Izzo and Mel Tucker was there, you could hear half the fans screaming "boo."
Yeah,
they were like booing, and half the fans were screaming, like cheering and all that. And I'm just like, this is funny. And this was right before it rained. Right when they left and said those words, it rained, and I was like, "Wow,
how funny!"
Fun.
It's a very polarizing environment down at the MIS Speedway.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun.
Okay, well, we could move on to another topic.
You want to try,
I feel like we can do one more in this episode.
I would say ghost stories, but then again...
What cool ghost stories do you got?
There is, okay. I know one of them. It's The Curse at Talladega. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yes. This is a good one.
The story about that is there's a guy, I don't know what driver he was, I don't even remember his name, but he was about to go into his car, something in his head said, if you get into this car, you will die. And he goes, I'm sorry, but I cannot get in. I will go maybe 2 laps, I think it was. And he came in, and he said, I'm done. Not even maybe 4 to 5 laps later, a car hit the wall, and that guy died on impact.
That guy was shoot, I forget his last. His name was Isaac, something Isaac, Bobby Isaac, I think it was. Them that happened. But yeah, he was driving and there was a voice in his head that said, "Don't go, keep going, or you'll die." And he pulled off the track, and he never raced again after that. Talladega is full of paranormal shit. It's based off of the rumor that the track is built on an Indian burial ground, and there's like a whole story behind like the native tribes from that area retaliating on the people that drove them out so long ago, and taking.
I think if people want to see a whole storyline or a lot of stories about this, I think it's either the Iceberg or
if you want a really
one
good
of
one,
the other NASCAR guys. They made a whole story, like 5 stories of different stories about it. I know one of them, which is very, 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 very weird. It's not a ghost. It's kind of a ghost story, not. But there's a guy that wrecked, and I guess in the back of his car, which they didn't know, was a gas can full of gas, and he wrecked. Well, that lit the car on fire. He tries getting out, and there's like a cameraman maybe 15 feet away, and he's taking pictures of it while the driver's trying to get out of the flaming car.
That's it. Yeah, I heard about that the other day. I think that was at Richmond, or is that a dirt track that they're not using anymore?
But it's just like, and then everyone was trying to find this camera guy and try to do anything in their path to find him and either kill him or something like that. And it's just like, NASCAR's been I didn't even know this until I watched the episodes, and it's like huge.
That's crazy.
Can't explain it.
A couple of notable ghost stories from me that I remember hearing. One took place at Indy. This was in 1995. That's when Dale Earnhardt won the Brickyard 400. It was 1995. Anyways, whatever year he won the Brickyard 400, it was at Indy. They were hanging out after the race. It was after he won. It was getting dark, and he wanted to do a lap around the track on his motorcycle. So he gets on his motorcycle, and he wants to take a nice slow lap around Indy. So he gets in his motorcycle, and he's driving along. You know, it's getting kind of dark. Track's empty. You know, it's been a while since the race ended. Whatever.
By the way, you're correct. Dale Earnhardt won the 1995
Beautiful.
Indy 500. It was the second annual, by the way.
Yeah. Yep.
Indy 500. Why did I just say that? Indianapolis 400. Oh my God. I am off today. Jesus.
Anyway, so he goes down and he gets to the backstretch, and he's going like 30 miles an hour or whatever. And he gets to the backstretch, and then he like speeds up. He hits 100 miles an hour as he goes into turn 3 and comes back into pit road. And everybody's like, "Oh, why is he going so fast? You know, I thought he wanted to take a slow cruise." He comes back, and apparently everybody thought he looked as pale as a ghost, and he was freaking out. He would not comment on what he saw, but he said he wanted to leave immediately. Pretty wild story there. The other one is, I mentioned this a little while ago on a past episode about the bus stop at Watkins Glen. Why that's there. And that's because of 1991, J.D. McDuffie had I think it was transmission failure at Watkins Glen, and he crashed into the carousel turn and got killed. And then they implemented the bus stop after that to keep cars going slower into the carousel turn. Well, he passed away, and drivers after that reported seeing JD McDuffie's ghost in the carousel turn as they were going around, which is a little scary. I don't know if that's still a thing people see. I don't
I
think so. But
Even in NASCAR games, I always look at that corner and I'm just like, I swear to God, if somehow, some way, if I ever go to Watkins Glen and I get a ride around that track and I see that, I'm running away from the
if
checks.
I see a ghost at a NASCAR race, I'm gonna crap my pants.
Oh yeah, I would too.
Actually, I do. Okay,
Feels even thinking about it.
can't believe I almost forgot about this. Okay, this is a crazy story. So it was 2013, 2014. I don't remember. I was watching YouTube. I find a video on YouTube. It says it's in all caps. Dale Earnhardt's ghost caught on camera at Daytona International Speedway crash, February 2013. Caught on high def camera or whatever it was called. I don't fucking remember. So I go to watch the video, right? And it's this really scary like echoey music. It's like oh, like that. I mean, it's like staticky. It's like really weird. It's all black and white too. This picture's all black and white. And he tells her like what camera he took it at and whatever. Well, it's a picture of like the millisecond before Kyle Larson hit the fence at Daytona in 2013, the Xfinity race, at the finish. Like the millisecond, you can see his cars going up in the air, and there's this like white silhouette on the front stretch, and he presumes that to be Dale Earnhardt's ghost. Okay.
See, I don't know if this is true or not.
It's probably not.
What I heard, ghosts don't stay at where they lied in death. They move frequently. But I don't know that. I'm not a ghost expert or whatever.
Now, when looking for the video, because me and Jackson were originally going to try and do a NASCAR iceberg video, but then somebody else got to it, so we knocked that off of our scheduled list. But I was going to include this in there. I was looking for the video to see if I could find it.
Dog.
It has sadly been taken down, probably because it's false. First off, the silhouette didn't even look like anybody, let alone Dale Earnhardt. Second of all, it could have easily just been edited. Because
some people like to, put the actual like a picture of a driver or something like that and say it's the ghost.
Right. But it didn't even look close to him, so I can't believe I almost forgot about that. That video stuck with me since I saw it for the first time, and I guess we'll never know if it's true or not, but I'm gonna say it's not. But whatever. Anyway, I think that's a good time to wrap it up. We will get to some other cool topics in the next episode.
Definitely in the next episode, we'll probably do retired numbers.
Yeah, if we can't get the collaboration done next week, or we don't, or if his Hitmasters diecast doesn't come in yet, we will probably.
It should come in. It says December 1st for some reason, but I don't believe that. I think that's just saying, oh, that's the estimated time. But
it could come earlier. Was it getting like shipped from overseas or?
I think it is.
That's probably why. So December 1st could be a pretty reasonable time then, because I've ordered Pringles from overseas and they take a while to get here. So,
yeah.
Oh well, we've got that, and actually retired numbers is really the only other topic. But we'll find some other news stuff that comes up and whatever. So we'll figure it out. We'll be fine. But until then, if you want to be a guest, we'll get you on. Go join Discord now. Do it. Now.
Do it. Do it.
Get on.
Or else the ghost of Dale Earnhardt will come and find you.
We can talk about retired numbers.
You.
And maybe some more ghost stories. And maybe more video game stories. But anyway.
If you don't subscribe to Pringleson and my channel, then Dale Earnhardt's going to come to your house and.
I need to subscribe to your channel. I can't find your YouTube channel.
You can't?
Send me the link. I want to subscribe.
God, I can't believe you can't find it. Jesus.
You need to send me the link.
Yeah.
Anyway, though,
I
that's
will
gonna
probably
do.
after this.
That's gonna do it for this episode. We'll try and get up next week. If we can't, that's fine. Something else will get moved into it. But we're gonna try and get something up next week. But until next time, we will see you guys later. Goodbye.